All
right. Hi, folks. Welcome to our Top 100, where we sit and chat in the background before we actually hit live. Talking about number 80 through 71. I want to go ahead and do this because my number 80 is a new game. I don't have many new games on this list. I have a handful, like 10 or 11, but this is one of them. And this is what made me change my mind about this Benjamin Sphere. I didn't know that I liked some of his games already, and then I started tracking down a few other of his games. This is the one that I went, who is this guy? It put his name in my mind now. Hadara. Have you played this one?
I haven't. I picture the cover. I don't remember what the game's about.
Yeah. Hadara is, and just like a lot of his games, he just takes some simple mechanisms. I don't know if he takes anything new into it. I mean, put little things new. There's some deck building. You're collecting different items, different points, different ways to score points. The way that you draft cards here is different. I'm trying to find another thing that doesn't involve the player board here. The pieces look great. There's the player board. That's the back of the box there.
I'm surprised this is this hot for you.
Yeah, no, it really was an impressive game. This game just greatly impressed me. And that's when I took a step back and I went, who is this guy? Now, I have there's a good shot of it. I have the expansions, the little mini expansions for this game. I played with all but one and have enjoyed them. Not that they're necessary for the gameplay. But again, different paths to victory on what you want to do, what tracks you want to go up, what exactly you want to build for your, I guess you're building your own little empire or city or whatnot. And great decisions to be made throughout the entire game. And I hope he did a lot of hobby games back in the day. That's kind of how it started. And then he did some some adult games, and they've just been incredible. And next time he comes out with another, advanced game or a game for adults, I'm definitely going to be interested in it automatically. Like a lot of people love Failed for that reason, right? If Stefan Feld did it, it must be grand. And I don't deny he's a great designer, but this Benjamin Sphere or whatever, I think is incredible. And this was the game that put his name on the map for me. So Hadara, it's new. It is surprising that it made it into my top 100 because I really am not cult of the new. Everyone sees a lot of my new games were outside the top 100. They got to earn their way. But some I just can't help it. I'm like, nope, I love it. And I played this game a couple of times when I got it early this year. When I got the little mini expansions, played it again. I was like, ooh, I love it even more. And I think that's what kind of, vaulted it into the top 100 here. Just because it's a really good game. It is not his top game for me. You'll see one more game pop up on the list here from him. But Hadara is a pretty solid game. All right. What is number 80 for you, sir?
Number 80, if you're a fan of the movie, you very much should enjoy this game. The Shining, the board game. Ooh.
Shocked this is in your top 100.
Yeah.
Did not know you enjoyed the game that well.
So I recently got to play it again, and it surprised me more. So the first time it was a little bit suspenseful, but we ended up winning, outbeating the evil force of The Shining. But the second time we played it, I played The Shining, and I got him, which was a lot of fun. Because, you don't know if someone's actually the bad guy or if The Shining is affecting your kind of psyche and you're just going deranged. So it's interesting that, added element, holy crap, are they trying to kill me because that's a part of their objective? Or are they actually going crazy? I don't know who to trust. The components are okay, obviously, with Prospero Hall, Prospero Hall. They at least from my experience with a lot of their games, they have one really amazing component that stands out. That's probably going to be the room key. Looks really nice. I was
going to say that room key is amazing.
Yeah, but for the most part, the game is very simplistic. The artwork is surprisingly relatively gory on it. For what came across as a family game, is relatively violent, which is pretty interesting. I like to see the horror pieces show in the design itself.
Well, these are all the classic moments from the game. I mean, you know the classic moments from this movie right here.
Yeah. Yeah, like look at the blood spill on the top, on the 5, all the way at the top left. Like it's pretty gruesome. But
him kissing the rotten corpse. I know the man in the teddy bear outfit is freaky. The image of Jack Nicholson running through the frozen wasteland trying to kill Danny. Oh, what
so
the
good.
twins, everything.
It's good. It fits thematically very well. It grasped the theme, obviously, almost as best as I could imagine you trying to do it. Keeps the tension high. It's a very quick game once you know the rules. You can break through it. I think our game lasted like 30 minutes.
This
First
cover
one
art
lasted
is
like 45.
This box art is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
I love it. I remember the first time I saw this or heard anyone talk about it was you. You talked about it and I showed my wife. She went, play that. And I was like, okay. So this is one I do want to try out because did they? No, that was Ravensburger that did Jaws. It seems similar to that, you know, the artwork and everything.
It's same designer, so Prospero Hall is still designing them.
Ah, that's
They
why.
little weasels they are. I love them.
Okay. Because I was wondering, because it did seem or feel very similar there. But yeah, no, that's a game I'd like to play. You're right about the key though, the little key to the hotel room. That's kind of a big focal point. And as long as you like you're saying it's very thematic. I remember you saying that. And as long as it's thematic to the movie, it's gonna be good. All right. My number 79 has been in my collection for 3 years now. It started off 143 outside of my top 100. It has been in my top 100 ever since. It barely got in last year at number 98. This year it climbs up 19 spots. No one will have this game in their top 200 or 300, I don't think. But I love Yspahan.
Yeah, no one wants that game.
Yspahan. No, you don't know this. Do you know this game?
No.
Okay. It's a game of area control. You're engine building too with different cards, getting little rewards. You're selecting dice as well. The dice that you collect, and they're nice, big, chunky. They're wooden die. The dice you collect the dice you pick tells you how many cubes, depending on how many dice are in that area, that you can put in that area to get that control, to get those victory points. They have nice little wooden camels you can use for special abilities in the game. They have a way that you can kick other people out, which is really one of the most underrated moves in our game. No one thinks to do that, and they really should, because that's a really big move there. The game it's an older game, obviously. You can tell by the look of it, but it is just a really strategic game. Like I said, picking stuff, picking where you're going to be. You can risk it because you can't get all of your cubes in one area immediately. You have to make sure that you can get them in at least that one full area by the end of the round to get those points. People who bump you off, you do get like a little prize at the end. You may be able to get a extra points or something. This is what I'm talking about by upgrading your board. You want to get different upgrades that can give you different abilities in the game. It's a really fun game. I love this. What is this? This someone made some deluxe bits. Oh, okay. I see what they did there. They just used the ones from the other ones. Playing around with those are the little wooden bits though. They look good. I got the little mini expansion called the Souks. It's okay. You don't really have to play it. The cards are different size. They're regular size cards, where the regular game comes with mini cards. So I don't know why they changed it up like that. But Yspahan, man, I just love the game. It's a great game. A game that begins with a Y. There you go. All right. So number 79 for you.
79 is, hey, that's my fish. Because I like strategy games. It is an abstract strategy game where you are penguins and you get to move in a straight line. It's been a little bit because there's another game that always beats it out on my list. But essentially, you're moving paths, and whenever you move and land on a path, the one that you remove from, or the one that you move from, you remove the tile for. So you want to try to get like the most points because there's more fish on some of them. However, you're also have to focus as to whether or not your opponent's going to try to trap you on your little island. Because if you can cut off an opponent early and you can cut them off on a smaller area, they'll only ever be able to get that, and you can continue to take control of the other spaces. There's a lot more thinking to it than I thought there would be. It's a lot of fun. I wish that specific one I had, the larger one, because I do have the normal one, which is really small. I would prefer to have the larger one because messing with those little mini tiles is actually a pain. But if it was larger, it would make my life a little bit easier.
Is this the one you have? This version?
No, mine has plastic pieces. They're just smaller. Oh, those are okay. Cool. Those look custom.
Seems like there's a lot of homemade ones on here too.
Yeah, a lot of versions. It might be worth making actually a giant one because their giant one is only really about that big, so it's not crazy, but that's about the size of the one I have, just not wooden. But it would be nicer to have maybe even larger ones. But it's just a really nice, calm, thinky game. Again, it's what I would consider similar to like an abstract strategy game, to where it's kind of like chess. You're really just trying to outthink your opponent. You're trying to plan ahead versus their next like 5 moves. So it's good. I like it. It's a lot of fun.
I forgot to put up Hayes. I thought I did put up that one up.
It's a small box as well, so it's a game I can carry to a lot of places. So that's another reason why it sits rather high. I can just bring it anywhere.
Well, if anyone needs a small box for their collection, it would be you. The man who has the biggest collection in the world. How many games do you have in your collection?
I don't know, actually. Probably at least 300, maybe 400. I don't know. It's really
there
hard.
You go. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I know a guy that's 3,000. Jesus, imagine that.
All right. So my number 78, been in my collection for 3 years. It started off and outside the top 100 at 111, moved up to 87, and then this year is now at 78. It is based off a historical event, Seeland.
I've not heard of that one.
You are building up areas, creating windmills to change the countryside from marshes to beautiful lands. There is a lot of strategy. There's a beautiful little rondelle that you can control. As you see, the pieces here are really nice. The rondelle is neat because those are coins that can move across the board. If you spend all your coins, you're at the end of the board, and that means you can only move to the next spot available. There is some strategy in not being the one who's not spending any money, even though you may not get tiles you want. You could hurt, and there's certain spaces like this brown guy. He got on the -3 victory point space. He must have run out of money on his turn because there's no way you'd want to be on that. You have these little black pawns in there that are inspectors that if you have to score X amount of points and able to score that area there. There are different types of tiles you'll need with worth different points. You're flipping over tiles once you put a windmill on them too, so you don't know what they are. You do not want all of the same tile around your windmill or you get 0 points. And why would you do that? Well, you may not do that, but if you have some big points on there, other players may say, I see he has a bunch of tulips. He already has 3 tulips. If I can put some more tulips around his windmill, he'll end up with 0 points instead of 15 or 27 or something. And that's another thing. When you hit a high score in this game, you can mark your high score. Like I scored 22 points that round. I think no one will be able to score that many points in one turn. And if you're right at the end of the game, first and second place, which you can win both of them, but you can only bet it once. Once you bet it, it's locked in. So if someone got 23 and someone else got 24, I would lose out. But if you got it right, and no one beat your score, some people forget to make their bet because they think, I can get higher than 22 or 25, and they never do. So they lose out on some bonus points in the end. It's a really great game. I've had one of my people from my gaming group. This is one that after she played it, she went out and bought a copy and plays it all the time. This is one of her favorite games. This would definitely be in her top 10. So for me, not my top 10, but definitely my top 80, Seeland. Fun game. Hey, speaking of 78, what you got? What you got for me?
So this is looking like the party side of things. We have
Oh,
Pictionary Air. I know, Pictionary, basic game.
did you
However,
say Pictionary Air?
yep, yep. Sound Pictionary in itself is a fun family basic game that a lot of people may be familiar with, but with Pictionary Air, you have this pen and there's an app. So what happens is they're looking from their phone and you're drawing with the pen in the air and it draws it on the app. So you can interact with it. Like if it's raining, you can try to draw an umbrella. So it's funny because if they're bad drawers, they also can't really see their drawing. So it makes it even funnier to just laugh while they're trying to interact with something that doesn't look like anything. It is a blast, very cheap game.
This is a new game too. This came out in 2019, it says.
Yeah, I got it at Gen Con 2019. I think that's where they first released it. I was very surprised by it. I was very surprised by the price. I think it was only like $20 for what you get. It's very small, so while that box may look a little bit bigger, there's an even smaller box inside of it, so you can it's like the size of an envelope. It's really nice in terms of like length, but it's a little bit thicker than an envelope, of course. But you can also get cards from other Pictionary games if you have them. Get stuff off online. There's generators for words and stuff like that. If you really wanted to go that above and beyond, you can even record it. So the ones that you play, you can kind of show back and laugh at later. I was very surprised by it. In my review, I actually make fun of how it reminds me of the Disney Channel thing where it's like, I'm Bernardo.
Yeah, how you can draw things.
But it's a lot of fun. I again, I haven't played Pictionary in decades. And this one was fun.
But I can see where this one would be a little bit fun. Now that's interesting technology. I wonder if someone is going to come along and include that and put that in the game in some way. They could.
What do you mean?
You know, just implement that technology into another game.
Oh yeah,
like, make it more than just Pictionary. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. You like new concepts.
I do.
I'm catching that a lot. That's really good. All right, my number 77, been in my collection for 4 years. It's always been in my top 100. It's always been around this area too. It was start off at number 76, 68, then went to 73. Now it's down 4 spots again, but basically takes the same area each time. It has to deal with pizza. Papa Paolo.
Papa Paolo.
Papa Bello. Papa Paolo. Of course, you're running a pizza delivery business. This is all sorts. I see this game for cheap now, but you have a little bit of area control at first, where you're grabbing and tile placement as you're building out your own tile area. So it's tile placement too. There is a bidding round where you're bidding to get certain bonuses at the end of each round before you go out and deliver pizza. You're delivering actions and stuff. Those are all the roads. Engine building, meaning whenever you complete a tile, depending on what color it is, that will give you an extra bonus. Well, it'll let you move up on your little player board. As so, your player board can get you more money or more ingredients or more pizza or faster movements or more turns, I should say. Dips and turns. You want to move up on your player board too for extra victory points as well. This game has a little bit of it all, a great pizza theme, although you may not want to buy it new because there's only 1 million stickers. There's these little small pizza boxes. They're wooden, and you have to put a sticker on each one. There's like over 100 of them, it seems like.
Jeez.
And so there is a lot of sticker. I'd say about 200 stickers, if more. It took me forever to put stickers on this. But other than that, if you buy it used, you're going to be great. But if you buy it new, expect a lot of sticker work.
Work for Paola before you play with Paola.
Yeah, everything about it. Like I said, it has all the mechanisms that I love in a game, a unique theme, which I love as well, pizza delivery. and it never gets old. It always kind of sits around this spot for me on my list for the past, 4 years. So it's not moving. So I nailed this one. If it only shifts within 10, spots every year, that means I've pretty much nailed exactly where I wanted on my list. But I love me some Papa Paulo. Love it. And it's cheap. For Black Friday, this was you can get cheap copies brand new for this. I'm like, are you serious? So I'm like the only person who loves this game, I guess. Go figure, right? That's nothing new. All right.
True.
Number 77 for you.
Number 77 is going to be another party. Throw Burrito. This?
I did not recall. It's Throw Burrito.
Yeah, Throw Burrito.
Okay, I did not recall if you had this one or not, but I probably could have guessed.
So there's two caveats here. I love the Outdoors Edition a lot, which I originally didn't think it was going to come out anywhere other than Kickstarter because I did back it when it first came out. But
you didn't back it when it first came out.
I did.
Oh, you did. Oh, I was going to say this is a game that's right up your alley.
Yeah, no, I backed it. So, but with the Outdoors Edition, there are these giant inflatable ones. So, like, if you're an outdoors person, it's perfect. If you got a pool, even better. It's a great pool game because the cards are waterproof and giant. So it's a dodgeball card game. So the standard game, which I think I've played a little bit more than the outdoors version, you have these kind of Tempur-Pedic plush kind of material. See, that's the outdoors one. It's hilarious. Tempur-Pedic plush kind of burritos, which you are consistently drawing through piles, passing to the next pile to try to make a combination of, I think it's 3. When you do, you react depending on what the card is. So it can be a full-out brawl fight where you hurry up. Once you say you got it, you say whatever it is, burrito brawl or whatever, you hurry up, grab a burrito, you pass it behind your back 3 times, and then you can throw it. It is a lot of fun. You can do duels where you choose 2 people and they go back to back, take 3 steps, and then try to throw the burrito at each other. It's so silly. It is a workout. So while I'm serious when I say dodgeball card game, because you will break a sweat. Like, we were drenched in sweat of just running and dodging and just panicking. It is a lot of fun. Couldn't recommend it enough. Again, if you go to Target, they do sell the outdoors version. If you have a pool or you're big on outdoors or you like playing games at the beach, this is perfect. And it can play a lot of players.
Man, oh man. I like how those burritos have those little Disney eyes too.
Little derpy eyes.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad we need some party games on this list because I'm not going to have them.
Yeah. We needed to take away from the wooden meeples for a little bit.
I'm telling you. My number 76 is in its sophomore season on my list. It started off at number 50. I was very impressed. Took a little bit of a sophomore slump, 26 spots down, but it's a great game about tea. Alubari. I am a sucker for a tea-themed game and have been for years. Now, this is a kind of like a re-theme of Snowdonia, where you're in this game now, you're clearing rubble to clear out railroads, to have access to more cities, to be able to get more victory points, to score points in the game. It's worker placement. You only have 2 workers, sometimes 3 you can get on points. The weather dictates where the crops will yield or what you can or can't do during a different round. It's really beautiful artwork. It is very strategic on what you can play, and it is one of the tightest worker placement games I have ever played.
You like the artwork on this? Ooh.
I do.
Oh, I guess the cards are. That board looks boring.
No, look at that. It looks eloquent. But I like it because laying track can get you points, but then you open up many points in that city for other players to get and other players to achieve. But when worker placement is incredibly tight in this game. It's incredibly tight, but it makes for a really fun game. You can get different cards, give you different abilities. You're spending chai to get bonus moves on certain actions. Oh, mercy me. What a fun one. Absolutely love it. Alubari, my number 76. All right. What is number 76
Might be
for
quiet
you?
here. 76 is, I told you, party today. We are at Judge Your Friends. So this is going to be more of
Judge
like
Your Friends.
a commercial party game, I guess. It is one I've probably the most played party game this year for me. With the few times I was able to meet up with my friends, we played it a lot. Essentially, you have a gavel and you have these very ridiculous questions where you have to determine whether you think they're guilty of doing that or not guilty. And if you're right, then you get money from it. If you're wrong, they get money. And if you are playing with a bunch of adults, you can play with drinks. If you're wrong, you take a drink. If you're right, they take a drink. It gets ridiculous. It is a blast. You find a lot of crazy things out about friends because the questions don't get held back in that game at all. Like they ask some pretty crazy ones. It's a lot of fun. It's a
So
silly game though.
Luke from down from the attic would appreciate this then.
100%. He judges you all the time.
Well, you had him at drinking game. You had
This
our
is
buddy at
fair.
drinking
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
You're right. You're
Okay,
right.
good. I can't find anything on BGG for that.
Oh,
So you got something that BGG does not have. At least I can't find it.
It was a Kickstarter game, so I don't know how big it got after that, but I like it.
Probably not if it's not on BGG. But either way, that's good. That's good. My number 75 has been in my collection for 5 years. It has always been in my top 100, albeit it's been a lot higher. It was number 23 when it first debuted on my list, then went down, of course, 29, 35, 58. It moves down another 17 spots. It doesn't matter. I still love it. Scoville. You're planting the peppers, picking the peppers, making combinations or selling them on the market, making chili recipes. It's great. Different peppers reap different results. That's an old version. That must be a thing. But you're trying to you're trying to get recipes by not paying cubes. What is this? Seems like a bunch of demo copies out there. See if I can get a picture. No,
because they
that's
made
not
them
it.
look like peppers now, right?
Yeah, they look
They got
like
ones that
peppers.
look like
No, and they
peppers.
always look like peppers. There we go. That's what they look like
Yeah.
now.
Need to
But
get this
yeah,
game,
oh
especially for a
man.
hot sauce game night.
And you're always bidding to go first or second in these. The game will always change because you're planting peppers differently in different areas. There's a mini expansion. Well, it's an expansion, but it's a small expansion called Scoville Labs. It basically gives you your own pepper farm. So on top of planting a pepper in the field, you may also plant a pepper in your own personal garden and get a one-time pepper bonus, which really comes in handy. If you know how to use Scoville Labs, you can dominate the game. But that's the thing. All of us keep either forgetting about it or don't want to use it because it's all one-time actions. But if you plan out just right, like I've seen people do, they've yielded great crop and enough for them to win the game. So every time we bring this out, it's a lot of fun. I love hot sauce. I love peppers. The game flows really smoothly as you're playing it. Lots of ways to get points in the game. And oh, so much fun. So much fun. But I do love Scoville, even though it keeps moving down every year on my list. Still a great game. What about you?
It looks
Number
like we might
75.
be.
What's the next party game I'm gonna have to put in here?
This might be the last party game, at least for a while. Maybe. I don't
Okay.
know. Medium. This is one I got to play at Gen Con 2019, but it sold out before I could buy it. I was super sad. It is a really unique twist on kind of getting in your head of your friends and how well you know each other. Essentially, it is a game where you have a word. So let's say it is silver, and then you play it, and the person to your left, in clockwise order, plays another card. Let's say they say kitchen. You think of a word that has either silver or kitchen that correlates with that. You think of a one-word answer. And when you're both ready, you go 1, 2, 3, say it at the same time. If you're right, let's say you both say fork. Then you get to grab a point from you get it on the first try pile. If not, then you got to take, let's say I said fork and they said knife. Then you got to take, or let's say they said, knife. So then you got to take those words, fork and knife, and think of a word that goes with that hasn't been used already. And you can do it 3 times, so it's 3, 2, and then or 1, 2, and then 3. If you don't guess it, you don't get a point for it. The farther it takes you to guess it, the less the points are that you win. But it's fun because you can really get in the head of your friends, and it has like an infinite amount of combinations. They even have a little expansion that's a lot of fun. It gets a lot of good laughs, and it's really fun for anyone. It's a good family game for sure, and one of my favorite reviews I've done thus far. I went and did a whole Miss Cleo ad for it. It was dope.
Which is the real reason why anyone should love it. Okay,
100%.
there you go. It sounds unique. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, what's that sound? Queen Games? Why, yes, please. Let's put another Queen game in here. We always got to have a Queen game.
He's hearing voices. You heard it here first, guys.
This game has been in my collection for 5 years. It has consistently been in my top 100, even though there is a different theme game that has pushed it down. It was number 39 and 31 when it first came out. Then I got that other game that kind of replaced the theme-wise. So then it moved down to 55 and then to 63. It drops another 11 spots, but still stays in my top 100. And it's maybe the second best. Oh, maybe third. I don't know. Maybe another game of hot top. It's a Viking game, Eketorp.
Oh, I remember this one.
How much fun is, and this one, this is an older game by Queen Games. This came out, let me see here, pull it up. Came out in 2003. Dang, I didn't even realize it was that old. But
no, nice vintage list.
Shoot, yeah, it basically could be, right? It's almost 20 years old now. So yeah, there it is, looking beautiful, looking great. You got your own little player shield. You're placing your little meeples, your Viking meeples behind the player shield to go out to certain areas to collect goods in those areas. And it's all about faking and double faking your opponents, because if there's enough supplies, if supplies are equal to the Vikings or more, you're good. No one fights. Everyone grabs pieces and goes home. But there are certain blocks that are worth more than others. And so you may have people fighting over that. Or maybe what happened to me, we all went after the grass bricks, were the cheapest ones, but we thought, oh, no one's going to go for these. And then we all went for them. Also, you can attack opponents in other areas.
Now we're talking.
And there's 3 different ways to attack an opponent. If you see there on one of the Sandby clan, you can attack them by boat, by catapult, or by battering ram on the front gate. And that matters too, where you're going to attack them, because if another Viking has picked the same exact route that you're going to attack them with, you have to fight that Viking first. And fighting is very general. It's basically whoever has the higher card. You both put cards that face down, flip it over. But the interesting thing is, once that battle's over, you switch cards with that player. And when their hand's all used up, then they grab up their new cards. Maybe they lost 4 battles in a row, but now they're going to win the next 4. You do have these like little Thor tokens that you can cash in. They're worth victory points in the game, but no one ever keeps them until the end of the game. You cash them in. If you've got 4 weak or mediocre cards, you cash them in and get some new cards. That way players may not want to battle you because they don't know what you have. You're going to lose a lot of Vikings to injuries, because every round, depending on how bad you beat the player, what the difference between the numbers in the card will determine how bad you beat that player. There's the player board there. And so that will determine how long you'll go without that Viking. And you need as many Vikings as you can get. The only time that you're ever going to have the full amount of Vikings, I think, is at the very beginning of the game. After that, Vikings are going to be dying left and right. It is such a fun game. Sometimes it's very inexpensive to get online. Sometimes it's very expensive. It just depends. I've seen the price on these fluctuate. But wow. As a Queen game, Eketorp, I know there is at least 1 or 2 other people in my gaming group who bought this game after playing it because they loved it so much. Just like Queen Games, easy to play, fun for the whole family. Eketorp, my number 74. Get out of here. Get out of here with your skepticism. Have I seen a Queen game from you yet? Shame on you, sir.
I put them higher on my list.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, I have plenty. I have plenty. Don't worry. This ain't going to be the last one by far. All right, go ahead.
I have number 74, right?
Yeah, 74.
Master Thief.
What is it?
It's called Master Thief.
Master.
It's not the one you think it is either. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Master Thief. It is a card game. You are basically jewel thieves or painting thieves or art thieves, and you are going through to kind of collect the most points to put it away in your bank. But while you're doing so, your opponent can stop you from taking the high point paintings and kind of doing set collection in a sense by like stealing it from you, and then you can prevent them from stealing it from you. There are jewels, again, there's paintings, there's a bunch of different art related things that you're essentially trying to steal. And yes, some of those cards are holographic, which I really like as well. Kind of displays the importance. But
it is kind of neat though.
Yeah, but it's a very simple game. It has a lot of nice interaction points and really kind of focuses heavy on like hand management, deciding what cards should play when. Is it okay to just let them get this? Because they also have kind of a hidden objective that can get them even more points. So are they focusing on that? I've noticed they collected a lot of these types of art pieces. I need to prevent them from getting that. So it's a lot of fun, and it has that like little mystery element, like, ooh, I don't want to get caught. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun because you can get caught. There's also like cop thing cards or something like that like trigger the end game as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know what? I'm not much of a card playing guy, and you are, but that's what makes our list so unique, though. And I like that. I like that. All right. There you go. All right. My number 73. Been in my collection for 3 years. When it first debuted on my list. Oh, yeah. Cult of the New. I put it 22 because I absolutely loved it. It's still a great game. It dropped to 95 last year. And here's why. I found out the guy that sold it to me sold me a bum copy, meaning he put in some cheap replacements that weren't original. It's supposed to be bricks. He put cubes in there because he lost, or he pirated some pieces from the game for some other game and put in a replacement that didn't match the rest of the game. And marble, which is the most expensive, he put in cubes. And I went, that's weird, because when you dig your hand there, everyone was trying to find the cubes, not the bricks, because they want to bring out marble. That's a very expensive one. You want to get lots of marble. And I was like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose of the game. Why were they cubes? And someone goes, no, those are bricks. I went, shut up. So the guy pirated his own copy, gave me some cheap replacements, and I was pissed about it. And then someone showed me a website where you can get a replacement pieces for Palaces of Carrara and some extra pieces, bonus pieces too. And I was like, I could use some bonus pieces. And so I got them. And yeah, I think I've already mentioned the name already. Palaces of Carrara. And this is another game that just, it needs a reprint so bad. It needs a reprint so bad, because I think this is just an excellent game. It cost way too much. Way too much. Let me see. When was the last time it came out? 2012. Wow, 2012, really? Because it's just an awesome game. I have a foreign edition, so mine I have to get I had to get an English translation of the rules there. But oh, what a beauty of a game! It's kind of like a Dutch auction, as you see there on that little game board. You turn that little wheel around, and so that every round those bricks get cheaper and cheaper until someone's eventually going to buy them. Now you can only buy from that one section. You can't buy from different pieces of the pie. You got to buy from that one piece, and you're using that to build. Those are just objective tokens there, but there's the pie chart there. See, I didn't have those white bricks. Those white bricks were cubes. And so you're using those to build palaces on your player board to get victory points. There is no water super soaker gun in this game. Let me tell you that right now. But the game is extremely fun. You start, everyone saves up their time. You can score something once per round. That's what those little once per game. That's what those little pawn pieces are for. Once you put them down, that is how you score. You may not score everything. The game may end before you can use all your scoring pieces. So you can't really just sit there and say, I'm going to save up till I get a lot of points on this one. Nope. Sometimes you need to go ahead and cash out and get your points then and there, or you will lose them forever. And I love that about this game. So much going on here. Getting money, getting buildings. You can score by the color of the building, meaning orange tiles or green tiles, or the other 4 are symbols. They each have 4 different symbols in the game. There's some, the way you get in-game points are you deal out 3 different cards, and those are always, the in-game conditions always change every game. Really nice, really smooth game. Definitely needs a reprint. I just love it. Like those little bits. I love that little
wooden pieces.
like Dutch auction. As they say, you turn that wheel every time you buy something. It makes it cheaper. Some bricks become free after a while. And the more you build your brick, you can build, like anything can build a black city, okay, a black tower. But with blue, you can build with any brick but black, because that's a lesser brick. With green, you can build with any brick but blue and black, so on and so forth. But these give you more victory points as you build them up. So again, needs a reprint. Palaces of Carrara. That's how you say it.
Carrara.
Carrara. I don't know. It's probably not how you say it. People are screaming at me right now. But all right, here we go. Number 73 for you, sir. What is it?
Dragon's Breath by Haba Games with the expansion.
Okay, for 1 second, I thought you were going to talk about that game that I can't stand that you and Megan love. And who else loves that? Luke loves it too, from Down from the Attic. Dragon Strike.
Oh, that's the best game ever.
Oh my gosh.
But no, Dragon's Breath is by Haba Games. So I prefer it with the expansion. I will not play it without it. The expansion is the whole reason why I play it. It's called Dragon's Breath The Hatching, so you can play it together with it. So the essential piece of the game, much like you see there, you have those little rings around jewels, and you're removing the rings and jewels are falling, and you're collecting jewels. The thing about it was that's really the whole premise of the game. When you add the hatching, it creates a set collection game and the other dragon, because it starts with the boy, you get the girl dragon in the expansion for the hatching. So it becomes a little bit more than just kind of trying not to get and collect specific gems, as opposed to trying to use those gems to get those cards. So that's the expansion right there. So you see those cards show what kind of gems you need in order to get it, so you can get the most points off of set collection. It's a very good family kids weight game as well, so it can help start them out on earlier set collection based games, because it's very simplistic. But it's so much fun. It's so hard to describe, because the expansion just has a little bit of rings, but you can add them to the base game, add a lot more rings, and it makes it just, it's a lightweight, fun, random set collection game for families. And I'm a big fan of table presence, and that game does look pretty sick on the table.
Okay. I don't know. I can look and see real quick. I don't think I have any Haba games in my top 100, but I did have some on outside the top 100. How
dare you keep Rhino Hero that low? Haba games.
It's great. Rhino Hero is great. I have a couple of. I would play Dragon's Breath. Now that you say this, I know another game that's on your list from Haba. I know. I'm not going to say it here, but I know there's another game that's on your list that you absolutely love from Haba. So this is not the last Haba game we're going to see here, folks. Spoilers, but it's not. Now, speaking of games that Bernardo introduced me to, this is one. He said, yo, this is going to be a game you're going to love. I promise you. I love that. I was like, are you serious? Are you sure? He said, yeah, get you a copy. And I did. And I called you. I said, you know what? It's a great game. You're right. I sent you a picture when we first played it. And I said, you're right. This was a good game. And it made my top 100 barely at number 94, because I had to keep it low, my expectations down. You will be happy to know that it has risen 22 spots up. Rap Godz.
100%.
Rap Godz. Unbelievable. Folks, what was it? The heavy metal game. Where is it? Thrash and Roll. did not make my top 100 this year. But
No way, really?
yeah, it didn't make it. It didn't
Still
make
gotta
it.
play it, man. I
But
love the record.
even though it's a great game, Rap Gods did.
Oh yeah,
Rap
so good.
Gods is so much fun. It's simple. You're basically playing cards and going up the tracks. That's basically what you're doing. Love that metal coin there. And of course, it's a record. You're trying to move around. You're trying to get up all 3 tracks, of course, get maximum points. There are different ways that you can get victory points in the game. That'll always change the end goals and everything. The cards are really funny. You have to do a rap at the end, which I absolutely love. Me and my nephews have a great time making up the raps there. How many pictures for this game? Sadly. But it is a ton of fun. It is a ton of fun. You're playing different cards every round, and it's not that hard. It's not that difficult. And you had told me about this a long time ago, and I looked at it and went, oh, that kind of reminds me of Thrash and Roll, but from a rap perspective. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was
yeah.
saying. Yeah.
But oh man, it's a solid game. Oh, you all have. Here's the points. You either go platinum, gold, and stuff. Those are your victory points there. I think that's hilarious. But yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. I have to admit it. And you each have a different player power every time you do it too. So you got different abilities in the game too, and depending where you're calling from. But I remember I sent you that picture of me and my nephews going, yeah, showing you. So that.
You don't have to like rap music to like the game either.
No, it needs a rap CD. Like Thrash and Roll had a heavy metal CD, though. I'd listen to that.
Good heavy metal CD too.
Oh man, but yeah, Rap Gods. That was all you. You had told me about it, and you were right. What an amazing game! What an amazing game! And it's moved up on my list. Someone gave it to me and said, "Look, I don't play it anymore, but I'll give it to you. But you got to promise if you don't play it anymore, you'll give it away." I was like, "Sure." I'm not giving it away anytime soon.
It's good. They're doing a reprint, so they have a new game.
I heard about that
on Kickstarter. That when that fulfills and they get it in their warehouse, they said they've also been doing some more printings of the Rap Gods, so it should be more readily available soon. Obviously, shipping's not that great, but be on the lookout if you're interested. It's not a game that won't show back up, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the thing is, they came out with Hoop Gods. Did you get that?
Yeah, I backed it. Yep. It's not gonna come out.
It was 2 players, so I didn't get it, but it looks interesting.
I'm not a big 2-player game fan either, but I just like the aesthetic a lot. It looks cool.
I do not blame you. The Rap Gods blew me away. Really good game. Not number 72. What's your number 72, sir?
72 is going to be another Haba game. Oh, but not one you would guess, because it's one I even almost forgot about a little bit. And it wasn't until recent I played it again. Titus Tentacle. So Titus, Titus, Tentacle, Tentakel, because it's a German game. I don't think it ever officially had an English release. If it did, I guess maybe that was the name still. I don't know the whole thing. The shop that I got it from, they actually get a lot of it imported as well, so they get it all.
I was going to say, how did you find this?
Yo, so good. It was one of my early reviews too. It's so sick. So it's a 3D board. It reminds me of the things I liked about like Tornado Rex, for example. So let's see what this got. So it's this nice, the box of the board, you have this pump in the middle that plays as the octopus. So you are trying to move around the board to get to the treasure. Once you get, I think it's 3 treasure, you win the game. However, you are kind of rolling to end up landing on a specific color. So if the next color that comes up is a green and someone's on the nearest green, you skip all the way to the next green. So it has a really nice kind of catch-up mechanism and kind of fast-paced movement in the game. But there's also the Titus, who is the octopus, who when you push down on it, it shoots its legs out. So if it randomly ends up, so you spin it, if it randomly ends up where you're going to be at, then it will, and it knocks you down, you go back to start. Kind of like the whole Tornado Rex thing. It's a very simple game. It's very, very easy to set up. Family weight game. Haba's really great with that. But oh man, I love the game a lot. I like it for the same reasons I like Tornado Rex, just not nearly as much, of course.
Wow. Wow. You're right. I forgot about that one. I forgot you. And I do remember you reviewing it now that I've seen it. I do remember you doing your review on it. So that was
a good one.
Wow. But still, he has more Haba games on this list. I will guarantee you that. All right. My number 71, been in my collection for 3 years. Started off at number 52, has been slowly dropping every year, usually because new games push it down. It was 64 last year, 71 this year. It doesn't really move that much down, and it is Touria.
Ooh.
Touria, you're controlling the same pawn, but you're moving him, and the actions are determined by the way the castle towers are pointed at you. So, for instance, looking from this player's viewpoint, I can do the dragon action. I think that's the forest fairy. That may be the forest fairy. I can't see what that one is. Maybe the wizard action. But you can only do, well, every time you take an action, you will rotate it counterclockwise, which means it'll change. One of those 4 towers will change it for another player. So as you're playing it, it's got a lot of neat little, I don't think those are the actual. I think that's homemade.
Upgraded stuff. I like that.
Yeah, those are upgraded pieces there. So
fancy people.
But it is a really fun. It's kind of light in a way, kind of a family style game in a way, but it can be for adults too. You're trying to gather all these type of jewels and pieces. There's all the little cardboard pieces in the game, but you're trying to get as many as you want. You need X amount to enter into the castle. Once you enter the castle, you get to turn over, pick any of the doors, turn over. You're trying to find the prince or princess. If you can't find it, but you have the item listed below the door, you can pay that item and choose again. It may say, hey, pay a sword and I'll let you choose again. Okay. Pay a red gem and we'll let you choose again. Okay, I got a red gem. This one says, hey, pay a heart and we'll let you go again. Oh man, I don't have any hearts. So it's not about getting the base amount to get into the castle. You're basically trying to, and I don't know what this is. I've never seen this before.
An expansion Matt don't got.
No, it can't be an expansion there.
Oh,
Magical Tournament Trafficker expansion. What?
Matt's not a completionist anymore, guys. You heard it here first.
I don't see it there. Do you see it?
Huh?
I don't see it on that one.
What's that?
Anyway, Anyway, it's got fun artwork. It's a fun game. I remember I was talking about another game on my list, Valdora, and I was like, this is a fun little adventure game. I just wish it was a little bit better. And someone goes, have you tried Touria? And I went, no. I looked at the cover art, never looked at the game. Got the game. It is so much. It's right here, actually. Can you see? It's right off camera here. But it is a really good game. And like I said, you're not trying to get to if you go to the castle first and you don't have anything extra, you only get to flip over 1 door at a time. There are 9 doors in the castle. So it may take, 5 or 6 turns for you to flip over the right one, unless you're extremely lucky. And I've seen, like, I got in there the last time we played, I got in the castle first with no extra items. Because I was like, I want to win. We went 3 rounds. I couldn't figure out who it was. Someone came into the castle right behind me with a ton of extra items. And out of the, 6 remaining doors, they got to pick 4 of them. And they finally found it. That 4th, I was like, no, because they had every item that they needed to keep choosing. And that's how the game plays. It's a nice catch-up mechanism for the person who says, oh, I'm out of this game. No, just collect extra pieces and jump on in. Don't wait too long or I may flip over the right door. Woo! I love Touria. Touria is a fun game. 71. All right. So, yeah, this is it for you. What is 71?
71 is going to be an interesting one called Life Siphon. And Siphon is spelled Siphon. The Kickstarter I got a while back. I actually played it at PAX. Yeah, I think it's regular PAX. 2019, 2018. Before it was on Kickstarter. Essentially, it's a 4-player game where you are building up your army to get to the second to attack your opponent. Your essential goal is you need to kill the person to your left. And they need to kill the person to their left, and they need to kill the person to their left. So while it sounds easier said than done, you're just trying to focus on one person. The other person doesn't want you to win by killing your opponent, so they may try to help them a little bit. to make sure they stay alive long enough for them to kill the person to their left. It is such a cutthroat, smart game. It has some amazing elements in terms of abilities and things that you can do. I was very surprised by it. The end game, or the final product outside of the one I tested, got even better. I finally got a chance to play the physical copy again because it's been a while since I played it there. But the game is a lot of fun. The artwork's amazing. I always love the artwork that they do there at Lay Waste Games. They also produce like Dragoon and stuff like that. But this game is very slept on. I feel like no one's talking about it. And it is a very fun game, and the thematic is really eerie.
Wow. Yeah, I've never even heard of this one. Have you done a review for this?
I have not.
Okay. I was going to say, never heard of that one. Wow. What an interesting pick there, sir. You've got some unique games.
Oh, this list is going to shock you still, I promise.
Well, we'll have to see about that. All right, folks. Well, hey, let us know in the chat if we're hitting up any games you knew about or that you love, if things are underrated or overrated. And you know what? We'll come back and see you again for another